Hi, this is Jody with Get Your Face Out There on Air, and today I have with me Colgan Bryan, who is a songwriter, and he is, what else?
Instructor.
And
transcriber.
Tell everybody a little bit about that.
The transcribing is mostly like when a recording artist releases an album and they want to sell the sheet music to the public. They find someone like me to listen to it and write the stuff down, and then they release it. The last company I worked with was at Warner Brothers, but I've also done them for Hal Leonard and Cherry Lane and companies like that. They're sold worldwide, and they get the approval by the recording artists. So the difference is most people, when they're learning guitar on their own, they're getting a lot of pirated stuff that's not very accurate, and they're not approved by the artist. The stuff we do actually gets approved by the artist.
The stuff you do?
Yes.
And what makes it different?
Well, primarily, we do it legally. We actually go through the channels. We go through their management. We actually have professional people actually do the job, and it goes through a lot of approval before we can even release it. So, and if we don't get the approval, it doesn't get released.
So you work with others, not just yourself?
Yes. When I was at Warner Bros., a lot of my job was to assign to transcribers, but I also freelance for most of the companies as well. So you have the option, because not very many of us that can do it. And
really?
So we kind of have to wear a lot of hats at the same time.
It's probably the reason I've never heard of somebody that does what you do.
Exactly. I will say my favorite joke that no one gets is that nobody knows this, but I'm famous. So somebody gets that.
What was your best experience, and who was like your best work that you've done and worked for?
Well, it's ranged, because I've actually worked on about 1,000 books, everything from Joe Satriani to James Taylor. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a product of having no life. Okay. So every now and then you get a call. Well, most people want to ask if you do meet these artists, and very rarely, but occasionally they do contact us. And so I got a call from Billy Gibbons, and that was kind of cool, from ZZ Top.
Right.
Yeah. So and things like that, they're kind of spontaneous. They end up talking about fishing and stuff. It's kind of cool. But most of the time, it's just listening and pushing a pencil, and people scaring the crap out of you when you've got the headphones on. Just stuff like that. So pretty much it.
But it's nice. I like the fact that you call yourself famous, but you're incognito at the same time.
Exactly.
So you get the best of both worlds.
You got it.
And you get to meet all these great people. What a fascinating life. And you're doing very, very well.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. The only downside is like you listen to the music so much that you try. Sometimes it takes a long time to want to listen to it again. So you do get sick of it. There is that part of it.
How long does a piece take?
Sometimes it can be as easy. You can do one song in a day. Or we can do some projects that can take a few months, depending how complicated the band is. Bands like Dream Theater, where the music is very complicated, very long, very fast. It takes longer. But sometimes you can have some people that, like Garth Brooks, you can just pretty much write out the chords and so on, and you're fine.
That's true, right?
Yeah. So
or a theme from Star Wars, that would take you about a month or two.
Actually, surprisingly, we actually did a book on that. And what we mostly do in those cases, we take the themes, and then someone will arrange it so that they can play it at home. So it's not like to match the entire movie. It's just they'll have like short songs made out of Anakin's theme, for example. They'll just make a theme out of it and add accompaniment to it. So it's not necessarily that during the entire movie. Yeah, that'd be pretty scary. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you're sitting, you're listening to, and do you take like a couple of hours out of a day? Do you take a break? It seems like if you had to do it for over a month or two, long period of time, how is it every single day?
Sometimes it is. It depends, because when you have the assignment, they kind of give you very tight deadlines, because we do find there's a window of opportunity, especially with newer groups, that we're hoping that it can be released as close to the original recording as possible. If it's an older group that's been around for a while, those deadlines are not so tough. But I remember when we first got Linkin Park, nobody had even heard of them.
Right.
And so we had to try to have it as close to the album release as possible, because they were hot, and we'll sell more that way. So usually you're kind of under it. You live on about 4 hours sleep, you're hallucinating, and I hope it's right.
Oh my gosh!
That's why a lot of people have to look at it afterwards. So
how interesting is that?
Yeah, it's pretty well. Yeah.
And so do you go through their people, or do you actually get to meet the artists?
Well, usually it's going to be their people, but sometimes you find somebody in there that they want to be involved.
They do.
So it really depends. Once we send it to them, anything can happen. It might just be the attorney saying, well, the lyrics look good, or it could be somebody just every little move.
It.
Yeah.
And do any of the artists want to sit in with you ever, or no?
Occasionally that's happened. We actually had a situation with the guy from Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
After approval, we actually had somebody go into his place and talk to him. But one of the things, when we listened to the recording, it was like hours and hours of recording. The guy we sent over was a real expert at playing Jimi Hendrix style. So half the time you'd ask him what was going on the album, said, yeah, that's right, but how do you do that Hendrix licks? So we had So we have like hours of that.
We have to pause and explain and do all that.
Uh-huh.
But that's good. So you're teaching them and you're learning and growing. And you teach students.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Well, the funny thing about it is the reason that I know how to transcribe is because it was my way of going the extra mile for my students. One of the things I discovered is that when people are learning their favorite songs, things they've grown up with, they learn faster. They're motivated, they stick with it longer, and you have more credibility with them. So that job I was just telling you about was just an accidental spinoff. There was no such thing as a transcriber when I started doing it with the tablature and so on. I started doing it back in the 70s. And so back then, when a student would come in saying, having a favorite song, and I had it written out for them, well, then they also knew that I was on their side. It wasn't just me thinking about it during the lesson. I thought about them before the lesson. I think they usually appreciated that. And so when they started noticing every little glimmer of effort made it sound closer to the songs they liked, they were more enticed to stick with it longer. So I got a lot of good results. I watched my students learn in a fraction of the amount of time that I had to learn. So that's what I like about it. So
sure, I think everybody's the same way. You know, if you're really interested in something and somebody else is engaging with you, you just open up and you're ready to just be like a sponge and take it all in. And
human nature.
You will learn faster. If you're not interested, oh my God, you want to fall asleep and poke yourself in the eye with a pencil. So.
Right, and that, that's always the alternative. But
that makes you such a great person in so many different ways. I mean, music, in school needs to be kept there, and you're showing other teacher in the music industry, how to diversify, and hopefully, maybe you can even teach some of the other teachers what you're doing.
Well, sometimes we end up doing exactly that, because I started in a store where we were very good at exchanging what we can do. So I did make that contagious, where they started transcribing the same way as well, and they started noticing the same results.
Right.
So this is out in California, where we especially had a lot more of that. Now I mostly teach at home from my home studio, and I also teach online. But when I worked for the National Guitarist Summer Workshops, there was also a lot of exchange between different teachers, where we came from all over the country, so we had all kinds of ways of bringing new ideas to each other. So we learned a lot that way.
So you hold workshops online.
Yes.
And at school, and does anybody ever call you to do like a big one at school from other schools, like bringing in other teachers?
Not in a while. I mean, because again, I'm an East.
You like
I'm a
doing
West
that?
Coast guy. Sometimes I do. Yeah.
Okay, so you're from California.
Yes.
When did you move here?
94. Warner Brothers moved me out here, and so I was freelancing out there with all the different companies.
Okay. All right. And if anybody wants to hear from you, they want to learn from you or take classes, are they able to do that?
Yes.
Outside of the school or
exactly.
being a teacher, you do offer that. You have time for them?
No, that's ideal, as a matter of fact. I'd rather have people one-on-one with some freedom, where they can just tell me exactly what they want and not have to worry about a curriculum. They can go about, I can just find out where their point A is, where their point B is, and design their own strategy to get there, instead of worrying about products and so on.
Do you take any age group, or is there an age group that you prefer?
Is
it easier?
A lot of adults, in spite of, like on TV, they make it sound like everyone who wants to pick a guitar, they want to be a star, or they want to be a rock star, or they're all kids. And I have a lot of adults, because again, I grew up in an era from the 60s and 70s with a lot of people from my era that still like to play. They still love music. Yeah. They love it. And so,
no TVs in my house.
That's smart. Yeah. Although I do some of my practice in front of the TV. That counts. But whenever I had my kids staring at a TV, it's like they had to be doing something else. So either grab an instrument or draw or something. So yeah, I understand that.
Okay, if everybody wants to get a hold of you, can you
the best way is
information?
Is you either reach me on my email. It's Colgan Bryan, COLGANBRYAN @gmail.com. And my number is 786-663-4041. And I'm glad to hear from you anytime. I have wacky hours. You have no risk of bothering me.
And website?
Actually, that's still under construction. It's supposed to be on colganmusic.com.
Okay.
When it's finished.
Well,
but you can still
it'll be done soon,
and
you'll just go there. It'll say under construction, but check back in a few weeks, and you'll be able to get them.
And trust me, it's awesome.
It's going to be great. Anyway, I thank you for tuning in. Until next time, of course, take care of yourself. There is only one you. Bye.